Good thing. The fantasy's the same. When I'm dreaming tonight, I can do anything. When I'm dreaming tonight, I can go anywhere. When I'm dreaming tonight, I can be anyone. So don't wake me up, don't wake me up.
Little Bastille action. Forgot to get these picks in this week, and I'm not a gambling man, but if I am, I feel like I should help some people out. The good people that gamble. That is. All right. Big week in college football starting. Well, really started yesterday, but a couple games. Miami. How did they do? Well, I'm not sure. Let's check the scoreboard because I was watching that game, and then I went for a little drive, thinking maybe I'm gonna go for a drink. Didn't end up happening. Happens a lot to me. I think I get excited. I'm like, maybe I'll go out, and then I don't. So that's what happens. It's called anxiety. Also called don't like to go out alone. Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I think when I was an undergrad, well, obviously I had a lot more friends, and it's in a pretty big house, so there's always people that want to go out. And nowadays, not so much. So it happens. But yeah, Miami did not win. They proceeded to lose to Virginia, who is now 3-2, by a score of 30-28 down in Coral Gables. And by Coral Gables, I mean Coral Gables. Um, they had a really nice end zone. I made the comment on Twitter. I said they have a nice end zone paint because it was a lot like the Missouri end zone and the Virginia end zone, two schools that have the diamonds that go vertical, and then they have the school or the state, in our case, Missouri. You should say Missouri now; it just says Mizzou on one end, I think, and Tigers on the other. Could be wrong. Find out tomorrow because I think I'm going to go to the game for the first time all season. Ran into a couple players, current players, on the elevator. Was it before last home game? And they're asking if I was going to go tomorrow. I said this was 2 weeks ago against SEMO, and I was just, SEMO. I'm like, I don't know, we'll see. But this week I think I'll go because it's Tennessee, and that's an SEC opponent. They're 2-2. We're both 2-2, and I like it. I think it'll be a good game. It's supposed to be 79 degrees, partly sunny skies. I like it. I think it's a good matchup. I like our chances, by the way. I think we're gonna win by 9. We're favored by 2.5 according to Caesars in Vegas, and they're not the best line. I don't know what the DraftKings line is. It might be the same, but I think we're a better team than that. I think we're gonna win at home by 9 because we had a good home game last game. First game wasn't the best against Central Michigan, but I like our chances against Tennessee. I think Tennessee's not the best team. They had a good first half last week down in Gainesville. They looked like they're going to give UF a run for their money. Did not end up happening whatsoever. Second half was all Gators, and where are they at tomorrow? They're actually in Kentucky, where we lost in week 2. That was a tough L for me. I really thought we were going to win that game. The Gators are favored by 7.5 on the road at Kentucky. So, and I like the Gators. So this week, for the first time all season, I'm actually writing down my picks so that I can go back like tomorrow or Sunday or Monday, whenever I feel like doing a podcast. It's pretty much, you know what I realize? It's pretty much whenever I'm that bored. It's not really, I used to do like a Sunday health and baseball podcast, like starting in the spring semester. And I thought it would be a good path for me since I'm doing a master's of public health and master's in journalism. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just do a health and sports and baseball pretty much podcast on Sunday night of each week. And recently, I have I've done more college football because I'm a huge college football fan. Not because I've lost interest in baseball. Like I'm going to cover baseball in the next podcast probably, but um, I really like college football. I was more of a football player than a baseball player when I got older, and most people know that. But I love college football, especially in the South, where I am, SEC country or Big 12 back in the day. which I think that's what they still call campus, the bar and grill, as they should. Um, Big 12, but it's not like it used to be. Let me tell you, I drive by, getting a little off track here, but I drive by campus a couple, maybe 2, 3 nights a week. There's nobody on the upstairs balcony. There used to be, like, you used to, campus, Big 12, on a Tuesday night, maybe a Friday night, especially. And we used to go there for Monday Night Football sometimes. I mean, I guess I just knew a lot of people that worked there, um, kind of in the same house and everything. And now I don't know anybody that works there. Actually, I do. I know one guy that did not have the nicest thing to say about me in private, and I picked up on the conversation because he accidentally left me a voicemail, which he didn't realize he was leaving, and it didn't have the best things to say about me. So that tells me maybe I won't go to Big 12. But and they could use me, by the way, because there's nobody there. I drive by and there's nobody on the roof. The roof is where I've had many good times, and downstairs too. But anyway, I don't know. I was more of a, like, when I was an undergrad here at University of Missouri. That was probably my favorite bar. Actually, Bengals, and then that would be a close second. Field houses are up there too, probably three, right? I didn't really go to Harbaugh's too much, and but Harbaugh's like a staple of Columbia. I get it, but it's just like you can kind of go where your friends are, and that's what I'm saying. Like I go out and I don't really have any friends. Like I said, they're all like in different places at this point, doing various things and careers, right? And I'm trying to get my own career. Trying. I keep saying trying, like that's not really the best grammar, but okay, whatever. So, I'm saying, there's I might have a career, but I want something different. So I'm here anyway. SEC scoreboard for tomorrow. Arkansas, Georgia. It's gonna be a really good game. That's at 11 a.m. Wow. So I mean, worst case scenario, we don't wake up and go to the game here. We watch the Georgia Arkansas game on ESPN at the same time. I'm not sure why they did that. It's kind of crappy. The good thing is if you're in Athens, it's actually a noon start. So we kind of get screwed because it, the SEC network slash ESPN is like, oh, you guys can get a noon start too, except you're in the central time zone. So it's actually 11. So this is our third 11 a.m. start consecutive. Next week, we do not have an 11 a.m. start, but we don't play anybody. I think it's like North Texas. Yeah, no, nobody cares. Anyway, so Georgia, Arkansas. I think the dogs are really good this year. I like them by 13 in this one. Vegas has them by 16 and a half. I think that's a little steep. I would not go that far. I think Arkansas is a very good team. They've got a great quarterback. He's a freshman, a true freshman, and he's very mobile, quick. And I like, of course, the defensive coordinator Barry Odom, former head coach here. I like Georgia by 13 to beat Arkansas. I think Arkansas is going to have a great year in the SEC West. They're going to play a certain Alabama who is in their same division in the West. So this is a cross SEC game. This is a East versus a West team. Arkansas being in the West, they're going to have a great year in the West. They beat A&M last week. A lot of people didn't expect that, and I just don't see them going to Athens and getting a win. Vegas apparently doesn't either. 16 and a half points so much. I wouldn't go that far though. I would say 13. I would give the dogs 13 on this one, and that's as far as I would go. But I definitely think, in Athens it's a different story. It's not like it's a neutral site like Arlington was last week. Um, and and I think even their coach, Sam Pittman, he was saying, after that win, he said we're going to celebrate it, but then we got a pretty big game next week, pretty tough game next week. I think is what he said, and that's definitely true. It's not going to be an easy game for them in Athens, and I like the dogs by 13. So anyway, elsewhere in the SEC, an SEC West game, Ole Miss and Alabama. Ole Miss is a very good quarterback as well. I like the way he's played so far this year. They had a really good kickoff game, that ACC versus SEC game in Nashville or wherever it was. Maybe it was in Atlanta. They have like so many games in Atlanta. I lose track. But they looked really good, and they're still undefeated, as is Alabama, of course. Vegas likes them by 14 and a half, and I like Alabama by probably 6 in this one. And I don't see Alabama really doing much better than 14 or 17. Yeah, I mean, Vegas might be right on this. I mean, if you want to pick Alabama to cover, that might not be a bad choice. But I think Ole Miss will keep it close at least for the first half. And I think I don't think it'll be a bad game. I think it's definitely worthy of the CBS game of the week, SEC game of the week time slot at 2:30 Central. So yeah, I still think the Crimson Tide are a much better team, but I think Ole Miss is really well improved. I think Lane Kiffin's done a good job. And like I said, I think the first half's going to be close. Who knows? Maybe they'll surprise a lot of us. A lot of people were saying that of these two big games, you have number one Alabama, you have number two Georgia, both playing pretty good teams this week, and they're saying of the two, a lot more people think Arkansas is going to beat the Dogs than they think. No. A lot more people think Ole Miss is going to beat Alabama than they think Arkansas is going to beat the Dogs. So interesting. I don't see it. I don't see either one playing out, but we'll see. Troy and South Carolina is that other 2:30 game. This one on SEC Network. South Carolina and Troy. Yeah, South Carolina should rebound. Well, they've lost two in a row. They started out 2-0. Not a bad team. Mizzou has them in a few weeks, and I think the Gamecocks are a really good team this year. They got a new first year head coach. Um, that's at Williams Bryce, and they should respond well. They've lost two in a row. Time for a big game. Troy, kind of a small college in Alabama. I like them to win by. Well, Vegas has them only by 6. I would give South Carolina the nod by 12. Kentucky, Florida. I already think I already said this one. I like UF by 10. I like UF by 10. I think that's a tough game. You go on the road to Kentucky where we lost Mizzou. I just think, the quarterback at Kentucky is very good. This one could be an upset for sure. But they're both really good teams. Florida had that one loss against Alabama. Kentucky's not lost yet. They're not even ranked, so I think they should be ranked. But if they win, they'll definitely be ranked. Let's put it that way. So they're gonna have to really make a statement. I just don't see it happening. The Gators are really good. Great quarterback. Defense has played really well. They held Alabama to less than 35 points. I mean, that's pretty good. So Vegas has them by 7.5. I like the Gators by 13, like I said, or by 10. But I wouldn't be surprised if they won by 13. The Gators tend to play at a few road venues really well. Mizzou's not one of them. They don't play too well here, but I think they do play well at Kentucky, and for whatever reason, they play well at Tennessee, which is a rivalry game. But they've always played pretty well there, especially in recent years. Um, so I think they'll get the win. Anyway, Mississippi State, A&M. A&M is favored by 7. I don't know. They didn't look very good last week. I mean, they look dog shit to be honest with you against Arkansas, and they're gonna have to make a statement. Kyle Field tomorrow at it's a night game at SEC. Yeah, SEC Network night game at 6 o'clock. You know, I like the Aggies here, but I think it's gonna be closer than 7. I think maybe they'll win by 2 or 3. I mean, they're just Mississippi State's not a bad team. A&M looked horrific last week in Arlington. They've got some injuries too, so I wouldn't be surprised if Mississippi State won that game actually. But it's a tough place to play, no doubt. UConn and Vanderbilt. You know, if there's one game, well, Vanderbilt already has a win. I guess they beat Colorado State, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But if there's one other game that Vanderbilt has a good chance of winning, you'd think it would be against UConn. That said, I'm not sure they'll do it. They're favored, according to Vegas, by 14.5, mostly because UConn does not have a win, 0-5. I'm just not sure that the Commodores can get the job done. I mean, is anybody? I might go with UConn on this one. It might be might be an upset. Yeah, who knows? I mean, upset. Yeah, they're both terrible. Who knows? Stupid game. Not even gonna take a swing at that one. Pretty bad game. And this one, Auburn LSU. Auburn, of course, lost the game week 1 at Penn State, and that was a really bad game for them. They looked terrible. Play calling was awful. They've managed to win 3 in a row now, and they're taking on LSU. Um, but it's under the lights in Baton Rouge, which is no easy place to play. That place will be rocking. That was a really close game. Was it like 2 years ago, or maybe it was last year? Um, it was just a really close game. I think it was 2 years ago, actually. Yeah, because they would have had to play there. And Auburn almost won that game. This is when LSU won it all. And Auburn almost beat them that season. And so Auburn, they kind of want some revenge for that when LSU beat them on that championship run a couple years back. LSU has not looked, like I've said millions of times, but LSU has not looked very good ever since that championship run. And I just don't think they're in any position to get any win, let alone against the number 22 team in the country. LSU's not ranked. They're both 3-1. I like Auburn here, but because I know how tough of a place that is to play on the road at Baton Rouge, I give the slight edge to LSU. So I picked LSU by 4 because Vegas has them at 3. I don't think it's even going to happen. I don't know why I'm putting this, but I'm going to check up on this one. I'm actually going to keep myself accountable this week, so I'm writing these down. I just think if any was going to be wrong, if any of these picks were like just destined to be wrong, I think it might be that one. I think Auburn actually has a really good chance of winning this game on the road, based on what I saw a couple years ago. Um, I also put that Vandy's going to win by 3, but I told you guys that I was going to stay away from that one. But I think they will win. Hard not to beat UConn at home. Okay, so top 25 other games I was kind of looking at. Wisconsin, of course, big loss last week at Soldier Field in Chicago. They're taking on Michigan. Wow, good game. Once again, another 11 a.m. game. They really like to get us up early, don't they? At Camp Randall in Madison. I like I like Wisco by 12. Now I know Vegas has them by just 2. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know how good Michigan is though. This is why they're undefeated. They're 4-0. They're ranked 14th. But there's a reason why they're only ranked 14th. I mean, most Michigan teams, if they were 4-0, they'd be like 7, 8, 9. This team's only ranked 14th because they haven't played anybody. It's a real problem when Wisconsin's only losses are to really good ranked teams, and Michigan hasn't really played anybody yet. They're 4-0. There's a reason also why Wisconsin is favored to win, only by 2. Yeah, okay, but I think they're much better than that. I have Wisconsin winning by 12, and I think they're a much better team. I think they're going to make a statement after that loss to Notre Dame last week. And then they looked very good in the first half, mind you. So they should come out and get the job done. Notre Dame is not favored to win in South Bend. Kind of strange. That's a 1:30 kickoff on NBC. The Irish are 4-0. They had a really good win at Wisconsin, I thought. They're ranked ninth. They've been overrated in years past, and I've talked about it a lot. Like my respect for the Irish has gone down over the years because I just don't think they're worth it. I think they have many big losses, kind of uncharacteristic losses, and then they go to the bowl games. They don't seem to do anything. But this is Cincinnati, and yes, Cincinnati is ranked better. They're seventh. The Irish are ninth. Cincinnati's also undefeated. Maybe they're better than I think. I just don't see them doing it in South Bend. So I'm going to take Notre Dame by 6. I think it'll be very close. Might go to overtime. Last time it was an overtime game in South Bend. Well, I don't remember, but I was at one when I was a kid. I've only been to one Notre Dame game my whole life, and it actually went to overtime. So pretty cool. Um, let's see. Another top 25 game. Number 3, Oregon. They're not very good. They're playing Stanford. They're the most overrated team on here by far. They're playing in Palo Alto, so I'm gonna say Stanford might upset them tomorrow. They're favored by 8, but I don't really know that they're that good. They didn't look very good last week. They had a really big fourth quarter. Otherwise, they were going to find themselves um, taking a loss to, was it Arizona? And Arizona's just not very good at all. So I think if they're not up and ready to go for this one, I think Stanford will have a good game plan and it should be a good game. So that's God. I keep getting all these times, just like for some of these games I actually want to watch. I'm not going to be able to because of the timing. So it's just like I don't even know what games I can watch from. Maybe Florida, Kentucky. I mean, not too many. They're all like the same time. 2:30, another 2:30 start over on ABC. But yeah, I like Stanford by 6. Oklahoma, K State. I like Oklahoma in this one. Oklahoma's undefeated. Had a really good win last week. West Virginia was a close one. And going to Manhattan, Kansas is no easy task. Vegas has them winning this one by 11 and a half. I'm not sure that's that's going to happen. Kansas State's a very tough place to play. And if you're a little off on your game plan, or you're not waking up, you're not ready to go, remember they came off you know, a lot of adversity last week, even though it was at home. They could hardly beat West Virginia. So, yeah, I kind of like Kansas State in this one. However, I am going to go with Oklahoma by 7. And I think that's being modest. I mean, if Vegas has them by 11.5, I think I can take it by 7 and get away with it. So, Ohio State and Rutgers, I don't know about this one. I'll take Ohio State by 10, I guess, because Rutgers is just terrible. Rutgers, come on. Baylor and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's a pretty good team this year. They're both undefeated. That one's down in Stillwater. I know Doug Gottlieb will be paying attention to that one. Night game on ESPN2. Oklahoma State is favored by 4. And I kind of like them I said by 10? Okay, well, then we're going to go with Oklahoma State by 10. For Doug Gottlieb. Right. Penn State, Indiana. I don't know, man. Who cares? Penn State probably should win by 12.5. But I don't know. Indiana's pretty good, aren't they? 2-2? Maybe not. I'll go with Penn State by 15. Michigan State, Western Kentucky, huge game, big game. Not. Clemson coming off a big loss, going no, they're at home against Boston College, who just beat a certain MIZ last week, and I think that these Eagles are a really good team, but I just think going down playing Clemson after a really tough loss in NC State last week is going to be really tough. Going to be really tough. Um, that's a tough one. They're favored in Vegas by 14 and a half. I don't know though. BC's not bad. I'll take Clemson by 7. Clemson by 7. And then later, another night game, I believe it should be, on FS1. UCLA and ASU. And I got to say, I think this one's going to be bigger than what Vegas is predicting. Vegas is saying, Bruins, you got to prove yourself. You're ranked 20th. You're 3-1. You're favored by 3. So prove us wrong, right? But it's in Pasadena. So I don't know, man. Look, UCLA is looking pretty good this year, and to only give them 3 points at home, I think they're going to come out and prove Vegas wrong on this one. I like UCLA by 17, but I think it'll be a close first half, maybe even close 3 quarters. But I think they're going to pull away at the end and show people why they are such a good team this year. So there you have it, and a couple stories to give you guys because I was thinking of them tonight. Was when the fall of 2010 was when Taylor Swift had the song "Mine" come out, and I thought "Mine" was such a good song. And we, I was thinking of this movie, but first I was thinking of a tailgate because I had just gotten back to Columbia from St. Louis. We were in St. Louis for the Missouri Illinois game, and we don't play Illinois until I think in like 2 more years we play them again. But that was kind of a rivalry, ish. And we played at the Dome where the Rams played, and it was a good tailgate because you have all these people tailgating like right on the river. It's really nice and it's cool, man. Look, so we beat Illinois pretty bad. I don't know if Illinois ever beat us when we played them in St. Louis. That was just always such a one-sided game, from what I can remember. But in 2010, that was Blaine Gabbert, and that was a good game. TJ Mill caught a TJ caught a few passes, and Jeremy Macklin, I believe, was a senior then, so he caught a few. No, 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 he was gone. Carl Geddes probably. I don't know, cousin Carl. So yeah, I don't know. That was good times. Then I came back to Mizzou, heard my first T Swift song ever, and I was like, damn, who is this girl? And it was a good song. So anyway, good times. Fall of 2010. Wow. Anyway, there was a Nick Kroll movie, but it wasn't just Nick Kroll. It was I think it's called Joshi. It's on Hulu, I believe. And fantastic film. But Nick, yeah, it's called Joshi. It's on Hulu. Or maybe it's on Amazon Prime nowadays. Who knows? But Thomas Middleditch is in it. He was Silicon Valley, the show. Adam Pally, very funny guy. And of course, Nick Kroll. And there was a line in it where Nick Kroll's like, he was asked about his music taste. he was asked about his taste in music, and he goes, I'm a kind of a backpack hip hop kid, dilated people, he's like, but I like T Swift too, And it was just kind of funny because I'm like, damn, that is kind of like me. I would agree with that, backpack hip hop and then T Swift and then like some more country and some classic rock and it's like I don't have a lot of depth to any one genre, but I have a lot of different genres. You know what I mean? But there's a little bit of depth, I would say. So anyway, good times. Have a good Saturday, everybody. Maybe I'll make it over to the zoo tomorrow. Who knows?